In a democracy, the people rule. If voters want something done over time, it happens. That's what self-government is. But what do you call a system in which all the really important decisions are made by big companies without any reference at all to what voters want? Well, that is not democracy. It's corporatocracy. And it's starting to look a lot like what we have now. Here's the latest example. Major League Baseball announced today it's pulling two of the biggest events in sports, the All-Star Game and the MLB Draft, out of the state of Georgia. Now, why is Major League Baseball weighing in on this? Why is it doing it? Well, because voters in the state of Georgia made a decision that the Biden administration doesn't like. And as with so many big corporations, Major League Baseball believes it now has veto power over the democratic process. And by the way, it may have veto power. We'll find out. In the case of Georgia, the state passed a law to reduce voter fraud. That law requires voters to provide some form of identification before they cast a mail-in ballot. That identification could be a driver's license or free state-provided ID. Georgia makes it pretty easy to prove who you are. There's nothing crazy about this law. In fact, it's hard to believe it wasn't already on the books in Georgia. It should have been. But when it was proposed, it sailed through the State House. Georgia's House of Representatives approved this bill by a 25-vote margin. The state Senate by a vote of 34 to 24. And you can see why. Nationally, the overwhelming majority of Americans agree with it. They support mandatory photo ID for voting. According to a recent poll by the AP, fully 72% of people in this country believe that required IDs are a good idea. And why wouldn't they think that? You already have to show an ID when you fly in a plane or drive a car, open a checking account, hold a job, live in an apartment, or get a vaccine. But you don't need one to vote? Come on. It's ridiculous. In fact, it's worse than ridiculous. It is sinister. Anyone who opposes voter ID laws is encouraging voter fraud, which is to say, encouraging the destruction of democracy. It's that simple. And you can now put Major League Baseball in that category. Just the other day, Joe Biden went on ESPN to demand that professional sports franchises boycott any state whose voters step out of line.
I think today's professional athletes are acting incredibly responsibly.
It's the nature of government. It's